immediately got a pious birth, and I now, from a worm, I became a cow. And from a cow, when you again came and said Narayan, Narayan, just by a lavamatra sadhu sang, by a very small association of you, I then got a birth of a small baby. And baby who's now I'm a king. I've inherited all of this wealth of my parents, and now I am I'm so fortunate that I am going to be raised, because the king and the queen were all Vaishnavas, that I'm going to be in association of all of these Vaishnavas, and I'm sure at the end of this life I'm going to go home back to Godhead. So he is so he's so grateful for this. I think there's a question in chat. No. Okay. So he's so grateful for this, for just a love matra sadhu sangha. So that is the benefit of actually associating with the devotee, right? Like you associate for a little bit, and then you are able to, get so much benefit from being a worm to becoming a cow, and then actually becoming a king, and then, having that guarantee that you're going to go home back to Godhead. So that's a little bit of association can get you so much. On the other side, what we have is, the bad association, right? And the bad association example that we have is that of Karna. I apologize, Simeshwar Prabhu, if you're still there. I just see Suman Singh on my screen. I don't see any devotees or anything. Is the screen okay? I know we're recording.
We can hear you properly. That's fine. Continue.
Okay, Prabhuji. I'm just, maybe I should change the view on my side. Let me make it as a gallery view. And if everyone can go on off camera, that will be very nice. So I can see everyone's faces rather than just talking to myself on the screen. So that was Narada's story, right? Where a little bit of association of Narad Muni gave so much of, I want to say, benefit for the devotees. Then the other thing we have is basically about bad karma, right? And the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about bad association is that of Karna, right? He was so blessed. He was so fortunate. He was born from Kunti, who, and from Suryadev, right? So fortunate. We, in our culture, we know as soon as we see sun god, we bow down to sun god in the morning. So, and we know he gives life to all of us. So being a son of a sun and Kunti, such a fortunate position he was born in. However, bad association, right? He associated with all of, with the Kauravas, and he was so much in debt to them that he had to ruin his life. And I was actually thinking about that, right? Like when we get bad association, we all, want to, it is not that it is required by us, like we have to go to a party or we have to do something. It's not required, but somewhere down our heart, we also enjoy it, right? And that's why you go. It's not that it's only because, okay, we can pretend and say, oh, I didn't want to go, but I had to go. But somewhere deep down in the heart, we also want to go. So it's very important that we explore and actually see how, what sincerely explore and see what is within our heart. Do we really want to enjoy material association or not? And I think this is a very big topic actually when we talk about association, because you might say, but I have to go to work, I have my work colleagues, you might have a business, you might have business partners, you might, you might have so many other people that you have to associate with. So what is a real distinction between association, right, and just having company of people or acquaintances of people, right? So the biggest thing is don't share your heart with these people, right? Or you do the items as you do as a duty. You might have duty, you might have duty towards your relatives, you might have duty towards your community, you might have duty towards so many people, but that doesn't mean that you do that with, you start revealing your heart to them, you start revealing, get very close to them. We always say, right, she knows everything about her because, oh, they're so close. So you don't have to get that close to them. But I don't think it is practical not to have a, I want to say acquaintance, or proximity is the right word, proximity with the people who are not on the spiritual path. And I actually do not like the word karmi or all of that, because I feel everybody is a devotee. Anytime they can come into devotional service. So we treat everybody as if they're devotees. We treat everyone as if, our spiritual advancement is based on them, because, they might not be devotees at this point. They might come to Krishna. if everyone can go on mute, that'd be great. So, like we know from Dhruv Maharaj's example, right? Like when Dhruv Maharaj was insulted and everything, he was not a devotee, but if he became a devotee, and then his stepmother, his stepbrother had to get the consequences of it. So it is very important for us that we do not ill-treat anybody else only because they are not chanting, or they're not coming to the temple, or they're from a different caste, or whatever it is. We need to treat everybody with respect. We need to treat everybody with, with, I want to say, love and respect, but you don't have to get close to them, and really don't have to be very closely associated with them, that, their whatever it is, might come back to you. If you're in a position to um, correct them, like, I know a group of people who are always, like, especially with female, it happens, the group always is criticizing somebody else. Yes, you have obesity and this and that. If you are in a position to tell them, listen, we don't do that, we don't talk about bad qualities of other people, because we're going to get those bad qualities. If you are in a position to guide them, it's fine. If not, then avoid the association or walk away from there, right? And you can pick and choose. You can say, okay, for my work, I need to associate with these people, so you associate with them, or you have proximity to them, but you don't need to be very, very close to them. And you don't have to follow everything they're following, because we have such a good, I want to say, knowledge base that is there in Krishna consciousness, that we associate with devotees, we form close relationship with them, and we do these Preeti Lakshana, right? We offer prasad to them, we eat prasadam that they have given to us, we give gifts, we take gifts, and we reveal our heart to the devotees, and we give them a ear. So it's very important to understand, really, when we say association of good devotees and bad devotees, it's extremely important. Like even in Karna's case, even if he was in debt to Duryodhan, he could have still, when Krishna came, when his mother came, he could have still left that and gone to his mother, right? Followed what Krishna had said, but he did not do that. So that is really extremely important to understand what is association. First, it's important to understand what's good association, what is bad association, and what is proximity, and how do we differentiate between all of that. Because at the end of the day, we all have to go make money, come home, take care of our business, and go around, right? So that's going to be very important. And I think what is very important is understanding the goal of life, right? Like, what is the goal of life? And say, just imagine a person, he leaves in the morning, and he leaves the home. For example, you meet one friend.
Your voice is stopped.
Voice is stop. I think my internet connection is unstable. I got a message. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Mataji.
You can hear me now. Yeah, I think my internet connection is a little unstable. So, for example, Niru Mataji, for example, you leave house in the morning, you have to go somewhere, okay? And you have to get some work done. But you leave house, and then you meet a friend. The friend says, okay, come to my house, let's have some, breakfast or whatever. You have breakfast. Then you meet another friend there. They say, okay, let's go somewhere else, let's go and watch a movie, whatever. You go and do that. Someone says, oh, let's go to the park. You do all of that, and evening comes, right? And you have not done the right thing. You have not done your work, right? And evening comes. It's the end of the day. So what is the point? What is the point at that, right? Like, you have wasted the whole day. That's what we have to remember, that my goal is to go to Krishna, right? We will meet friends in between. We will meet so many other distractions in between, but we have to keep that goal in, and we have to keep on marching towards that goal, right? And like we said, if we are going to associate with people who don't have Krishna as a goal, who are not very steadfast in their Krishna consciousness, then we are going to be diverted. We are not going to be on track. So that's very extremely important, to have good association. There's also a very good example that Madhupati Prabhu had given me very early in my Krishna conscious journey. What he had told is, say you're riding a bike, right? How fast can you go? You can probably go whatever, you can put energy for some time and you can drive. But say there's a big truck or something, and people are here from in India, they hold the truck, right? Few people, and that the bicycle is going at the speed of the truck, right? That's the benefit of association. If you are associating with very strong, very devotees who are highly motivated, then you're going to go at their speed. So it's all about tagging along with them, hanging out with them. And I think all of you are doing a great job of coming to this Sangha every evening and associating with devotees. So, doing that Nityam is extremely important, and association is very important. I think that always remember about the goal and the man leaving the house without doing the job. And if you're just going to go around the whole day, you're never going to reach your goal. You're going to be like, oh, the day is over and I did not do what I'm here for. All right. So the next, the other aspect, what this verse is saying is basically, first is, it's talking about you reveal your heart in confidence and you hear from others in confidentiality, right? Now, let's talk about that very, very extremely important point. So last time when we had talked about that, I'd given an example of a hunter, right? A hunter, what happens is he, I don't know if everyone's on the call, so I'm going to tell the story again. So what happens, there is one hunter, he goes into the forest and he's trying to hunt. But then what happens is, as he's trying to hunt, he doesn't realize that he goes into restricted area. And he's a big, strong 6-foot man, right? And he catches hold of a fox. But as soon as he catches hold of a fox, the forest officer comes in. And the forest officer stands in front of him and he says, he starts talking to him. So what he does is, this big man, he takes the fox and he puts him inside his coat. Like, fox is small, so he puts him inside the coat. And he starts talking to the forest officer, just entertaining him. Time goes on. And as time goes on, the fox is just eating him from inside, right? The fox is eating him inside. And he keeps on talking and talking. And by the time the forest officer leaves, he collapses. This hunter collapses. So basically what is happening is the same is happening to us. We all have some kind of challenges in Krishna consciousness. But what we are doing is we are not really confiding in any senior devotee. We are not having a mentor in Krishna consciousness. We are not having a guide in Krishna consciousness or a counselor in Krishna consciousness, right? That we can go and we can confide. You can say, oh, I cannot chant my 16 rounds. I cannot, whatever basic challenges you're facing. Oh, I have to, I don't know what everyone's problems are, but whatever your problems are, you should share them in confidentiality with a devotee, with a senior devotee, and they will guide you. This is extremely important, to reveal your heart. What, your problems, your success, your happiness, wherever you need guidance has to be shared with them. And the same is reversed, right? Like if someone is coming and sharing with you anything, it is your duty, primary duty, to maintain the confidentiality of it. And I see that a lot amongst, it happens even within devotee community, like gossip happens, somebody's talking something and they go and reveal something that is explained to them in confidentiality to somebody else. And everybody knows. And then the person feels betrayed. They're like, okay, I trusted these people to share something so confidential about me. And look what has happened now. They have shared, everybody knows. So, so they lose the confidence in the movement then. So it is very important that when somebody's sharing anything to you, you maintain the confidentiality of it. You break the chain. And if some devotee is sharing that to you, you ask them, like, I think those 3 basic questions, I hope them remember. Is it beneficial to me? Is it truthful? Is it a truth? And, I guess it doesn't benefit the other person. There are those 3 questions you should ask always. And you cut the chain. If somebody shares something with you, you don't go and share it with somebody else. You break the chain. You break the chain and you don't share. And if something is happening again, even within devotee circle, like I mentioned externally, you tell them, we should not be talking about this. This is ISKCON, this is Krishna conscious movement. We should not be gossiping. We have nothing to do with these people. Let it be. They confided in this devotee. It's not appropriate of this devotee. You can even tell this devotee that they should not share, or you leave from there. So it's extremely important, and you will see the benefits that you'll reap throughout your life. It's so important to be conscious that these are, and Krishna is watching. At the end of the day, maybe you will feel, oh, I'm in community hall, I'm in some Bhakti Vriksha, I'm in the car. Krishna is everywhere. He's in your heart, my heart. He's there and he's watching. He's really, really watching how sincere you are, how honest you are. The other day, I was, somebody was telling me about a TV serial about jury duty, right? And how they watched the whole jury duty series. I don't know if you've watched it. It's probably on Amazon Prime. And I think what happens at the end of the thing, they find out that the main character, everybody's pretending, right? Everybody's pretending. But the main character, doesn't know about that. And at the end, they tell him how nice he was, like, how he helped every person, how he basically, situations were going bad, but how he still was able to maintain his integrity. How he was able, because he was being watched, right? Everybody's an actor, and everybody was watching how he's behaving in every scenario, and the show ends by the judge kind of starts telling him like how in every scenario he helped every person, how sincere he was, how he he did all the good things. And that's exactly what's happening in our life too. You know what I mean? Krishna is watching. At the end of the day, these scenarios are given to us to see, okay, is Gokulpriya really going to pass this message on to other people? Is she going to continue this nonsense? Is she going to stop it? How is she going to react? How are we, like, we are Krishna conscious, and we have to become Krishna conscious. We have to be conscious about these things first. So that's extremely important, that become conscious and, do not share anything that's shared with you in confidentiality. And if somebody is breaking it, you make sure that is addressed. That is extremely important for us. So, these are the different signs of Preeti Lakshana for, revealing your mind, hearing from somebody, very confidentially. And, and also we have to understand that we are, these are Preeti Lakshana amongst devotees, correct? To bring devotees closer, so we get their association and we're benefiting from that. But we also have to understand that this association is also with Krishna. Okay, all of these Preeti Lakshanas are also with Krishna. So for example, confiding in somebody, confide in Krishna, have that personal relationship with Krishna, tell Krishna your problems. Like I know a lot of devotees have this conception, kyun chote chote problems bolne ki, yeah, you don't have to tell him to come and solve, but you have to have that conversation with your God, with your Krishna, your Ishta Devta. You have to tell him whatever is going on in your heart, be confide in him. Krishna, I'm not able to do this. Krishna, this happened. I'm feeling sad about this. Krishna, I'm so happy. Thank you for this. I'm grateful for this. You have to have that confident, sharing your heart relationship with Krishna, and Krishna will reveal it to you sometimes. Krishna will reveal his heart to you, So, but you have to have, it's a triangle, right? We, the devotees, and Krishna. So you have to make sure that you have this confidential relationship with Krishna. Like you talk to him before you sleep, good morning, Krishna, whatever it is, you have that connection with Krishna and develop that relationship. And you see slowly, Krishna will start responding, and I have seen so many times, and I don't want to share here on this big forum, but so many times Krishna will share himself with you, like he will reveal like how he's revealing his heart, what he's thinking. It's very nice to have that personal relationship with Krishna. And then one thing that we also going to talk about here after revealing your mind is about food, right? About giving food and taking food. So it's very important, like a lot of devotees will say, hey, don't, like we have that concept, right? If you eat the remnants of some devotees, then you get their consciousness. So we eat the remnants of a very high, gurus and whatnot. But what I've also seen is devotees commit offense sometimes. And I remember one husband and wife, and the wife would like not finish the food, and she would say, husband, can you have this food? And he would be like, no, I don't want to get your association. And the wife would feel so bad about it, like, what is this? Does he feel so high? So don't think about this, because, I have one of my cousins, Yugavtar Prabhu, he's a very high, he's a very senior devotee in Radha Gopinath. And I was so surprised when he came to see us. We were eating dosas, and there was some leftover, and he was eating them up. He was like, why waste it? And he was eating leftover from the kids, my leftover. And I was like, oh my God, he's such an exalted devotee and eating my leftover. And my ego was so slashed, because I was like that before. I was like, no, I don't eat this. My consciousness is going to be contaminated. But his consciousness didn't get contaminated, because all I felt was so much gratitude and love, right? Like, I felt like it opened my heart. It actually felt like, wow, like, if he can accept, who am I, right? Who am I not to take somebody's leftover and eat? So I think being that good, kind person is so important, about, sharing food. And what it is sharing is, call devotees, invite devotees to your home, prepare nice food for them, share food with them. And also go and honor prasadam at other devotees' house. Like I see a lot of times devotees go with others' houses and they say, nahi, pani bhi nahi pina hai, ye bhi nahi khana hai. Like, why? right? And I've seen some devotees will come and they will cherish prasadam. Like, I've seen so many Maharajas, they will see. I one time, Jayadvaita Maharaj was saying here, and he with us, and he told me, I want applesauce. And I was like, I don't know how to make applesauce. I've never made applesauce in my life. So I read online, and then I made it, like, whatever it was. We don't make it in India, like, growing up, so I was not used to it. So I made it, and then I offered it to him, and he tasted it, and he said, this is one of the best applesauce I've ever had. And I was feeling so, so grateful and so nice. Like, he didn't have to say that, but he said it's one of the best that he's ever had. And I was feeling so good. So it's so important to accept prasada. Like, all those, Maharajas and everybody don't have to come to our house and have prasadam, but they do, right? Why? Because they want to give us the mercy. So similarly, we should be going to other devotees' house, honoring prasadam, and inviting other devotees to come to your house and sharing prasadam. You can have home programs, you can have bhakti vrikshas, you can go to the temple and cook for the devotees and serve the devotees in whatever way, right? And you see, these are the whatever 6 things that Rupa Goswami is telling us. Those are the basic things that we do in any relationship, right? Like, what do you do to develop relationship with a new friend? Right? Like, we have, recent COVID time in our community, a lot of new people have come in. And how do they develop relationship? They will invite us for prasadam, or like, come, why don't you come over for some snacks for dinner? They will give some gifts when we go, and then they will reveal their heart, right? And then they want to listen, they want to sit and talk. So that's exactly how relationships are developed. And that's what Rupa Goswami is saying, that develop those strong relationship with devotees, and develop that loving relationship among devotees. And so in this regard, again, we have to do that within devotees, but also with Krishna, right? So when we cook for Krishna, we have to do it with love for Krishna. Like, Krishna is such a small boy, how can he eat so much spicy food? Not that, oh, I like spicy, I'm going to make it super spicy, ekdam, all devotees should love it, kya mast bana tha. No, that's not the purpose. What are we saying? Offer prasad. And what is prasad? First loving exchange with Krishna, right? So you're making it for Krishna, that Krishna is a small young boy, how can he eat such a, whatever you're making, right? So tangy, whatever it is, like that. So you have to think about that. And in this regard, I wanted to share a story about one devotee of Jagannath. She was, her name was Nandi Mata, right? And she used to live close by to the temple. And whenever she used to go to the temple, she used to think about Jagannath as her son. She used to think, oh, he's such a small boy. And, used to think about as a son. And she used to think, oh my God, they're giving so many offerings to Jagannath. They're giving so many offerings to Jagannath. And how is he able to digest, right? His stomach is going to hurt. So what she used to do, she used to go home and make a palak sabzi, right? Which she used to make it, hide it under a plate and take it for Jagannath. And she used to stand near the pillar, and she used to offer it to him from there, because that way his stomach will not hurt, right? Because he's eating some khatta after eating so many sweets and everything. And so she used to do it every day. She used to make the palak, she used to cover it, go inside, stand by the pillar, and she used to say, Jagannath, please accept it. And Jagannath would enjoy it, and Jagannath would eat it. And this was happening for days and days and days. So one day when she was doing that, she was taking it, the security guard saw it. And the security guard said, what are you taking? What is in that plate? And then she said, oh, there's nothing. And then she started running. So the security guard came running behind her. He took the plate and he trashed it. He threw the plate away, right? So then, then she came home and she was sleeping. So then Jagannath came in her dreams. And Jagannath said, what happened? I was waiting for that, for the khatta to come. And now my stomach is hurting. So badly it is hurting. So what am I going to do? So she said, what can I do, Jagannath? I came and, but this security guard, he took it and he trashed it. So what can I do? So then Jagannath went in the dreams of the king, right? And he said, make sure when she comes, her name is Nandi, and she brings it for me and she offers it for me. Right? So now nobody knew who this lady Nandi is. So every next day, everybody was waiting to see who this lady is. She comes and she offers to Jagannath, and then they all see it. And then the king gives her, treats her very nicely, gives her a lot of gifts and everything. And he says, now you come and you offer to Jagannath every day. So, so he's coming and she's offering to Jagannath every day. And then that happened for her whole life. And when she passed away, they still make that palak ka sabzi for Jagannath, even now, so that, when he eats all the sweets, it doesn't hurt his stomach. So that's the loving exchange, right? Like, Preeti Lakshana. So Preeti Lakshana with devotees and Preeti Lakshana with Krishna, right? You might have a devotee friend, it's a birthday, make a cake for that devotee, do some kind of loving exchanges with that devotee, and also for Krishna, right? That's what this story was. I thought this story was so nice to share, that first we have to offer as prasada, develop that relationship with Krishna, and then we develop relationship with devotees. And again, same thing, like what I'd mentioned earlier, interactions with Krishna. As you cook, as you do whatever this, bring Krishna into this, like, oh, Krishna loves this sabzi, let me make this sabzi for Krishna. And Krishna will interact. So I think, those are the main points about this verse. Main was about association, that make sure you're associating with good devotees, and, making sure your association is good. You're also making sure that you're revealing your heart to devotees, and also whatever they're sharing with you, you're keeping confidentiality to it, because they're trusting you on that. So keeping that completely confidential, unless it's going to hurt and harm them, right? If it is, and you're going to solve something, for that you have to reach out to somebody, yes. But if they're revealing something to you, keep it confidential. Don't even share it with your husband, wife, or whatever, right? It's confidential. It's for you, because you cannot control who that person is going to share. Typically, they say, like, ladies cannot keep anything. She'll share with somebody and it'll go on. So try to keep confidentiality, and making and exchanging food. Exchange food with devotees, take food that they've made for you, and make sure that, you have that loving exchanges with Krishna. So that being said, actually, I wanted to share one thing. Let me see if I can share. And otherwise, we can go to questions. Let me just see. Yeah. Let me see if I can share my screen right now. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see.
Yeah, good. Thank you. So this is, I pulled this up from Urmila Mataji's study guide, which I found online. And I thought this was a great one-page view of what, these Preeti Lakshana are, and we have to remember that we are called Rupanugas because we are followers of Rupa Goswami, right? He's the authority that we follow, and he's recommending us to do these 5 things. And, we all can look at this quickly, or we can, I can read through this. Basically, the first 1 and 2 are the offering and accepting of gifts and charity. 3 and 4 are revealing mind and inquiring confidentially. And 5 and 6 are offering and accepting prasada. And then again, here, it is extremely important. The negative injunction of this verse is that we should refrain from giving anything or accepting from Mayavadis. And a lot of times people don't know what Mayavadis are. I did not know. Again, Mayavadis are the people who do not believe in the deity form of Krishna. They think God is infinite and whatnot, or atheists who are not non-believers in Krishna. Nor should we speak with them, associate with them, confide in them, or seek their advice. Then again, I think, speak with them. The way I understand this is like, basically, don't go and, if you have an atheist friend, don't go and keep on calling them and having too much close associating with them, right? Like, keep your distance, but at the same time, if you have a duty towards them, make sure you're doing your duty. You might have a mother who's an atheist, but you have to do your duty towards your mom. That doesn't mean that you completely abandon your family members, or your, something is important in your work. Don't have that impact on your work. Just make sure that you keep that distance and associate only with like-minded people. All right. And then again, the example of the snake and milk, right, which we already read, that let's not feed the snake, which is eating, give them milk, and let's not basically feed the demon, like feed the good, and make sure you're associating with good people. So I think that's all I wanted to share. We have 7:45. We still have 15 minutes for any question and answers if we have. I hope I was able to explain it, the 3 concepts that we're learning today. Do we have any questions?
Yes, Mataji, I have one question. Whose menu you decide? Krishna's menu or a family member's menu for the making of food?
We know what Krishna's menu is, honestly, because a lot of times, right, Neelu Mataji, very good question. I always think that, even if I say I'm making it for Krishna, I'm going to make paneer sabzi, which is a favorite of my child, right? Like you're going to make something that's favorite of your child, but you at least make it in a way that, in a sattvic way, that you can offer it with love to Krishna, right? And try to at least, I want to say that, make it with the when you're cooking, at least think once or twice. I know it's not possible to think all the time that I'm making it for Krishna, and then you offer that as a prasad to your kids. But it's that's a very good question though, right? Whose menu do we decide? I like the question, but hope I'm able to answer that, Neelu Mataji.
In my mind, I always feel I'm cheating Krishna because Krishna may not like this, and my husband wants sweet. That's why I'm making.
As long as you make it sattvic, Mataji, it should be good. Any other questions we have? Maybe I spoke, I probably nobody understood, or maybe it was too complicated. I don't know. I have no questions, or it was too easy for everyone.
Only last paragraph I read about donation. About donation to Krishna, 50%, 25% to the family, and 25% keep ourselves. Can you little bit talk about it?
Yeah. So the way I understand is Rupa Goswami gave that 50% one time when he actually left and he retired, something like that, right? I don't know. I was trying to look and read about this. I'm not sure if he did that throughout his life. And I always believe in time, place, and circumstances. There's so much taxes you're paying, there's so much you're doing. Do as much as you can, I would say, Mataji. Like, I be a little practical about it, because at the end of the day, it's different. I don't think we're that advanced that we are living a lifestyle of Rupa Goswami, right? You're going to have your basic needs. You're going to have medical needs, like, Neelu Mataji, like what, I don't know if you're still working or what the scenario is. You're probably retired at this time, right? You want to make sure that you have you're able to maintain yourself in a way that you can still serve Krishna properly, right? If you're going to give away everything, and at points when you're going to need the money, where are you going to generate it from? Because now you're retired, right? You cannot, oh, was my funding for my retirement, and let me give 50% of this. And what if you live 100 years and you run out of it at 80? What are you going to do for the remaining 20 years, right? So you have to be practical about it. You can put that in your will. If you have nobody to pass on as your family, you can do something like that, right? I think when we did our will, we had those choices, right? Who's going to inherit? But then what happens to them if they don't inherit? If everybody is gone, what happens? So you can put, you can give some charity in that way when we decide in different scenarios what you would do. But I would always say, like, giving away 50%, are we able to maintain ourselves in a country like America? I'm not sure.
One more question regarding this topic. When do you use disappearance day, or when do you use Tiroba? What is the difference between two? When do you use which terminology?
I'm not aware. I just use disappearance day and appearance day. And we'll have to, we can Google up. You can Tiroba is what you can Google up, probably, or I can do it for you. It should be straightforward. Yeah. Any other questions?
Tirobha is disappearance and Avirbha is appearance.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Any other question related to this topic?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Mataji, today's topic was that, like Rupa Goswami just trying to explain us that don't try to interact with the those he used the word karmis and mayavadis who does not follow Lord Krishna, or the who does not follow the.
I don't think he uses the word karmis. I don't think.
Yeah, you didn't. But like they are not devotee, they may come to the devotion when it will be the fruitful time. So the Mataji, I'm asking this question because this is easy for like me. I'm a housewife. I'm not working, so it's easy for me to not to interact with those person. But how to control myself if some of your family member is means it at that situation, how to deal with the person, because all the family member cannot support you. Some of them may not like you, that whatever you are doing or the things, they just go beyond everything, like they just don't want to see anything. Sometimes it happens. So how to deal with those things, Mataji?
So that's a good question. And I kind of addressed that in the class, right? Like, are you also asking, you want to make them devotees, or are you saying how do I interact with them? So just to give you more tailored answer, I want to ask you another question. Is it, are you talking?
Mataji, I cannot make them devotee because it's their will, their karmas. So whenever Krishna will want, then only he or she will come into the devotion. My question is on the today's topic, how to deal with them, means how to, because sometimes it affects on us also, means what happens to make them happy. I know we have to make Krishna happy, but sometimes what happens, we have to keep our family members also happy. So in that context, we have to give some time to them, and in that time we lost many things which should be scheduled for Krishna, like anything, reading books can be, or arati, or anything except japamala. I'm not telling you. So how do we deal with that?
I actually, if I have to answer that question, I would say do your duty, right? Like, it's okay if you are not able, you wanted to offer aarti, you wanted to do that, but you gave time. I don't know if it's your mother-in-law, who are you addressing, but somebody who is not favorable for Krishna consciousness, and they want to watch a movie, right? And they want you to sit with them and watch a movie, or it's your kid. It could be a kid who wants to go out for a sports, right? He's doing swimming and he so now my whole evening is gone at a sports game versus me sitting in front of Krishna and doing aarti. Do your duty first. Like, so if it is your duty towards your child and he has to go out and play, or he has some, an activity, do that. If it's your mother-in-law and she wants you to, I don't know, today she wants you to cook something different, and that's going to take so long, that's going to take away your time, do that, because Krishna will be more happy that way. Because it's always smaranam, right? You're not only going to sit in front of the deity and only when you're doing kirtan you're remembering. You could be cooking and you could be thinking about Krishna. You could be sitting in a game with your child and thinking about Krishna. So do that first. Because then I've seen so many senior devotees, like I know, like their parents were not, or somebody was not, but you have to make sure that we give that time to them, right? Like sometimes people will say, don't go for yatra because, it's Diwali time. I want you to be here. And people have sacrificed. So Krishna will see that, right? Because at the end of the day, it's your remembrance. And Krishna will be happy, actually, if you make these people happy. Because, because they probably are dependent on you. They don't have anybody else. And that's why they're coming to you, right? And, I know you mentioned about, like, you're not even trying to make them Krishna conscious because it's beyond your control. And I know we don't want to do that, but they will be impressed. And I've seen that with my life. My parents were so against when I came to Krishna consciousness, and they were like, is this? They thought I was gone crazy or something. Like I was a teenager and they used to think, what is this? But, as I started doing it, Krishna made the way for me so that I could do this more. And he changed their heart too, because Krishna is in their heart too. So, I really honestly feel that doing your duty is very extremely important, because probably you are the only one who could help your child or somebody who's dependent on you, your mother-in-law, your mother, your husband, anybody, right? So do that. So you could even chanting, if you were waking up in the morning and you were like, let me nicely sit and chant, who will make cooking for this husband, let him go, whatever. That's not going to work, right? You do your duty, you cook for your husband, and then you chant later. Krishna will appreciate that. Like, because you could be thinking about Krishna when you're cooking for him. So that is extremely important. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Nice question. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Any other question from anyone? I'm seeing Madhurya Leela Mataji, Dr. Meena Mataji. After many, many days, thank you for your association to see you online after so many days. I'm seeing a lot of devotees online. You're on mute, Mataji, I think, if you're speaking.
Oh. No, I was in the kitchen.
Are you in
doing some housework and listening to... No, I'm in Allentown here in Philadelphia. So
nice to see
like
you, Mataji, after such a long time.
Same here. I'm so happy to see you.
Yeah.
Wonderful class. Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So nice to see all of the devotees. So I'll just summarize what we learned in this verse, verse number 4. Again, Preeti Lakshana, which are the loving exchanges amongst devotees, is basically, you are you're giving in charity. And charity means giving in gifts. Give gifts to devotees. Take gifts from them. Give prasadam to them. Accept prasadam from them. Confide in a devotee confidentially and listen from them confidentiality. Make sure you're keeping it confidential. Make sure that this horizontal relationship is important, and the same Preeti Lakshana, do it with Krishna, which is your vertical relationship, right? Confide in Krishna, share your heart with Krishna every day. Krishna, whatever your situation is, share it with him, have that conversation with Krishna, have that personal relationship with Krishna. Offer food to Krishna, which you are anyways doing before you're offering to a devotee. And in charity, give Krishna anything, personal stuff. Prabhupada says, when you come to a temple, you should not come empty-handed. Bring something, whatever. If you have $1, you have $21, put it. If you go outside and you're going to eat, anyways, your family is going to spend $50, right? And you're going to have Sunday feast program. Don't give something, give $20, $21, $25. Make sure that you get something for Krishna, personal things. Sometimes you might go and you might like a sari for Krishna, for Radharani. You might like a jewelry. Bring that, bring a shawl, whatever personally interactions with Krishna is, do that. So I think that is very extremely important. And also one thing is avoiding bad association. You have to interact with people if you're working outside. Continue interacting, continue that proximity, but make sure you're not getting close to people who are not so favorable to Krishna consciousness, because like I always say, we are devotees. If you're standing on a beach, what happens? Your feet get wet and the land gets unwet, right? We're that kind of devotees. We're like a pendulum. Sometimes we are very, Krishna consciousness, this is the best thing happening to me. Let me be devotee. And then something happens and we go far away from Krishna and we come back. So that's our nature. We are pendulum devotees. We are like that sand on the beach, right? It gets wet and it gets dry. So for us, we need this strong devotee, this strong truck that is fast train, that is growing, truck that is ahead of us. And if we are on the bike, we're going to hold on to this truck and we can go at that speed, right? We're going to hold on to this strong anchor and continue our thing, right? And this is a boat that is taking us across this Bhavsagar. ISKCON is there. And I know sometimes people might feel, this devotee is like that devotee is like that. It's okay. If you sit in a boat and the entire boat is not clean, you clean your area and you sit in a clean area, you'll get across, right? So just tolerating devotees, having these loving exchanges with devotees is extremely important, and we can advance in Krishna consciousness. Perfect. So we're at the hour. So I'll be very happy to end on time. I see these classes go over, so we all can take rest and wake up in the morning for chanting. Are there any last questions that we have? I think there's something in the chat. Thank you everyone for the good comments that I'm seeing on the chat. Amritananda Prabhu, thank you so much. Sarita Mataji, thank you so much. Please give your blessings. And Simeshwar Prabhu, again, thank you so much for engaging in Krishna consciousness and giving a class. Should we end, Prabhuji, or anything you want to say?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the nice class. And a few announcements. Tomorrow we are having, we will not have a class on the Zoom, and we'll be having a class at the temple. So we will ask Prabhu is going to speak on, he's setting up the Kartik, the mode of Kartik. So we request everybody please join at the temple tomorrow at 7 o'clock, starting at 7 p.m. Then Saturday, Kartik is beginning, as we send out some notes about what to do on the Kartik and the glories of Kartik. The devotees, it's our great fortune that we have this opportunity, observe the Kartik and celebrate Kartik with the devotees. And what we do usually, devotees invite devotees, as we spoke, in the last 2 days, is that invite the devotees and offer the gifts or offer the prasadam and receive the prasadam, honor the prasadam. So many these 6 kinds of pradakshina. It is possible. And one who does it, especially on this month of Kartik, and it has thousands of, benefits, like says that one who does this thousands of hundreds of horse sacrifice is one who perform any of this activity, inviting a devotee and offering and honoring, and he can benefit more than that thousands of horse sacrifice. It's mentioned that one who chants the holy glories of Sri Lord Damodara on this month of Kartik, one can attain the abode of the Supreme Lord. No matter what condition he is, but he can attain the abode of the Supreme Lord. One who offers the ghee lamp, this is the most important on this month of Kartik, and one who offers the ghee lamp to the Lord, and the Vaikunta is open for such devotees. And like that, there are so many, if you observe, like also starting on Saturday, we don't take any Urdu dal. And we, this is another one of the aspect of Chaturmas. This is the last month of Chaturmas, the fasting of. And in this month, especially, nobody takes the Urdu dal. Urdu dal is avoiding this part of the fasting. So that means if we like something and we avoid that eating, so that this is on to please the Supreme Lord, that I'm taking some fasting, I'm taking some vows. And also it's mentioned that reduce the eating and focus on more chanting and associating with the devotees. And every day offer the ghee lamp to the Supreme Lord, Lord Damodara. If you have the Damodara, Ishuddha Damodara or Radha Damodara deities are at home, so you can make a ghee lamp and offer and invite everybody. This is the way that everybody get an opportunity. They don't need to like a so-and-so quote-unquote devotees. But by this process of honoring prasadam and eat only prasadam on this month of Kartik, and honoring that prasadam and offer the prasadam to naturally, maybe this lifetime, next lifetime, they will also naturally get purified. And they will all attain that the abode of the Supreme Lord. So devotees are so merciful. So they go out and they distribute books. They offer this wonderful Damodara Puja. The people invite the devotees at the home. They all comes together, chant and recite and sing these wonderful, wonderful pastimes of the Lord. And especially on this month of Kartik, one reads the Gajendra Moksha, and it's very, very powerful. And one who reads the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. And also this month is especially known as the month of Srimati Radharani, because of this called Kartika. Kartika is another name of Kritika or Radharani. So it's month of Srimati Radharani. As we know that when it's the month of Srimati Radharani, then Krishna likes this month very most. And that is, this month is known as that one devotee, those who are in the highest stage or in Krishna or ISKCON or Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Now that we look at all these, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas are on the top of, I'm not comparing or anything like that, but Gaudiya Vaishnavas are on the very ecstatic, loving devotion with the Supreme Lord, the bhakti. All the other, but we can say that jnana, karma and all. But this aspect, this devotional aspect, bhakti yoga, is more that we can see on the Gaudiya Vaishnavas or the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they take it. This is the deities to worship on this month of Kartik is Sri Radha Damodar. So when you come to the temple, we have a program at the temple on 28th evening. We'll have a kirtan and Damodar Ashtakam, and everybody can offer the ghee lamp. And then continuously, there are so many programs scheduled for this month. And if anybody is interested, and many devotees are here, if anybody is interested to host a Damodara Puja at your home, please contact us. is a very beautiful process, and many devotees did that in the past. And if anybody would like to do that, please inform us. We can make some time and we can come to your home. It's not that big deal of it. Not that you should put so much of efforts or something. No, just invite your family, friends, your dear, or near or near or dear or or people around the neighbors. Then devotees will come. They will set up an altar of Lord Damodara. They will then give some Damodar Kada, and then also engage in the Damodara Ashtagam and sing that one and offer the Gilam to the Lord Damodara. One does this in one lifetime. He is the most fortunate. Thank you so much. Please try to engage as much as you can. And we will not have class tomorrow, but we'll have class on Monday. Okay? Thank you so much. Let's chant together. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripasindhubhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai.
Jai.
Madeshamurda ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Ananda Gaudi Vaishnavrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Gaura Premanande Hari
Hari
Hari.
Hari Bol.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much, Mataji, for the wonderful class. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.